So guys, Bumble went public here today, up 60 something percent on the trading day. However, things don't really appear, like it looks good from, a high level view, but if you really dig down the details, didn't really go all that well for retail investors like us. The stock actually debuted somewhere around $76, $77 here on the public markets. And since then, it's pretty much just been down. Down as much as almost 9% here, 8.94% at one point during the day. So it wasn't really a successful, IPO for retail investors. However, those that got in here, private investors, institutions, they are laughing all the way to the bank. Okay, so now here's the thing. When it comes to these IPOs, they don't all go that well initially. So ABNB, this one's a popular one, right? It debuted last year, came public, dropped, went up, dropped, kind of stable for a bit, and then it kind of found its footing and it's been moving up. Now it's a $130 billion company, well out of my price range, but investors still find value in this. But the key is that it initially came public, made headlines that it made tons of money in first trading day, but the reality was no, it actually made money for institutions that got in before the public debut, and the public just kind of got screwed for the first little while, and then things started moving better. Same thing happened with DoorDash here, another huge popular stock. I think it debuted the same week as Airbnb. You can see this thing just went even worse, down 26, almost 30% at one point. And then things came back, things started getting stronger, now we're up, and this is a $67 billion company now. It's kind of ridiculous to see these kind of valuations on businesses that quite honestly don't deserve this, but it is what it is. That's what the market is right now. And it's not just these companies, right? Wish is another one that came out. This is one that I personally invested in. It came out, it actually had the opposite effect. It actually went up because this was, maybe the market saw undervalued, and then it sold off. Now, I personally bought it around this level here. I did a couple buys and averaged down somewhere around here. I believe it was in the teens that my average cost base was. And I rolled this up, made a good amount of money on this. It rallied quite well and recovered quite quickly from the drop here. And the general trend, if you haven't noticed, is that for the first little while, these stocks tend to just move down. They sell off, but then they find a base and then boom, they take off. Now, this doesn't mean it's going to happen with Bumble here. Bumble could be a complete exception. The stock could just keep going down until the valuation makes sense. But in this sort of market, I would not be surprised for it to follow what the others did. Sell off for a little while, a few weeks, and then boom, catches some sort of ground and moves higher. I just want to point this out quick here. So Bumble was actually supposed to start trading at $43. This was the IPO, and I believe before this it was supposed to be in like the mid to high 30s. But at the last moment, there was so much demand, it got up to 43. But then as it got on the public market, guys, once it was on the NASDAQ, so you and I, the average person, could buy it, this was up to $77. Now you tell me, does this sound like you got a good deal on this IPO? To me, doesn't seem like it, especially since this was such a massive run after it was already raised from a lower valuation. But the reality is that's just the market we're in today. You just have to accept that if you want to buy these stocks, you have to get into these stocks right now. But to me, some of my members asked me VIP group, are you going to be buying Bumble? The answer to that was I was interested in it. It's a very intriguing company, which we'll talk about in a second. But when the IPO for us retail investors is like almost double than what institutions were paying literally the day before, yeah, I don't think I can justify that. So I'm going to sit away, and maybe this will drop down to like the 50s or something, and that's when I'll consider getting in. I just want to quickly look over their S1 form here just to give you a quick glance as to what Bumble actually does. And this will actually help answer a few questions as to why this company may be an interesting one to look into. So Bumble here, they have really good branding. That's the first thing that I'll really say. I think their branding, the colors that they use, it's very simple, but it's very clean, modern, elegant. I really like their branding. And the core of this business is about relationships. The relationships are the backbone of our lives. They recognize this. We are humans. We, pandemic, no pandemic, we got to interact with others. And you can clearly see from their metrics, this is what's happening. 42 million monthly active users as of Q3 2020. 2.4 million of those are paying customers as of September 20th year to date. And this is a global business in 150 plus companies. Bumble also is a lot more than just a dating app. Dating is, of course, the core of the company, what most people know this company for. That's what they call In Love. And then they have two other parts here of their business which you may not know about. In Life, this is for developing friendships. If you're looking for friendships, make a new best friend. I think that's called Bumble BFF, something like that. And you can actually use their app to find friends. And they also have In Work, which is like a professional relationship part of the app. And what they've done here is they've seen the success with LinkedIn. They've seen the success with certain private groups on Facebook. And they've kind of made a similar thing here where you can go out there, network, meet other professionals out there, find people with similar interests to you in the professional sense, and really build your relationship that way. So this is, like they say, a relationship app, and from your personal life to friends to work, professional. This app is kind of a one-stop shop to cater to all of that in a very simple, clean interface that consumers seem to really like. Now, another part of their business, which I'm quickly going to touch upon here, is Badoo. This is something I had no clue what this was when I first saw it. And then when I looked it up, I just typed in, is Bumble owned by Badoo, or who owns Badoo? And I found here that Bumble actually does own this company, and it's actually another big part of their business. So you're getting a company here that's, pretty diverse. It has, like they said, 150 plus countries that they're in. They do have competition in this space. Their biggest competitor is Match Group. Match Group, popular app. Tinder is their popular app, so this one's a huge one. This is pretty much the beginning of this whole generation of swiping, dating, and that kind of stuff. And this company went public a little while ago, and ever since then it's been up 1,000%. So this is one of those monstrous returns from a stock. $45 billion market cap, which Bumble is at like a 12 billion, somewhere around that, I believe. So it still has a long ways to go. If this is the market, then they still have growth ahead of them. And really, the reality of the situation is that the market is hot right now for any sort of stock that's tech related, that is focused on apps, engagement, that kind of stuff. This could be massive for Bumble in the future because they have a good platform which people are very engaged with. They use it on a regular basis. And as we saw from their stats, they literally have millions or billions of interactions rather, because every time someone uses their app, they're using it for a purpose. They don't just open this just cause. They open it with a purpose of either one of these three pillars, and so far it seems to be working out really well. But either way, guys, just wanted to bring this up to your attention. This is definitely a stock that I'll be looking into further. Like I said, I'm not going to be buying this at $70 a share. However, if it drops to like the low 60s, maybe even to the 50s, sure, maybe then you have my attention, because the valuation may make a bit more sense at that point. I got to dig more into the financials here with this S1 filing. But I think that I really like the concept of this, the fact that it's built on relationships, good branding, like I said. Very interesting business. So let me know in the comments if you want me to do a dedicated video on this on the main channel, kind of a more in-depth video. And I also want to hear from you. What are you doing with this stock? Did you get in on the IPO? Are you planning to get in? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Either way, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to invest positively, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.